You got it, you got it.
Oh yeah, boy. Let's do this.
Hey there. I noticed you gawking at my Ferraris over here. My F50 and my F40. People will never understand the grind that I had to go through to pick these beauties up. But seriously guys, I just really wanted to thank you all for 350,000 subscribers. We should probably have 2.5 more of those silver play buttons back there, but I guess that's more of a YouTube problem. I know there's so many different videos that I need to get to work on. Just looking around in my living room here, I can see so many different things that I've had to push to the back seat just for now so I could work on other videos. I still have SHOT Show 2023 videos to make, a video over types of airsofters I hate, which is sure to cause some discussions. I got the chance to 1v1 print, shoot, repeat, and so on. If you want to see just how bad this catch-up game has gotten, here's a list of all sorts of videos that I need to get to work on. This is not everything, but I think this is most of the important things. But again, I really wanted to thank you all for 350,000 subscribers. To every subscriber, every fan of the channel, follower, to anyone who supports the USAirsoft channel, I really want to thank you all. And of course, I want to thank all the lovely people at Laylax who helped make our Japanese tour possible, including all the people at Arcturus Airsoft who made our flight possible. We couldn't have done anything that you're about to see or anything further from this series in Japan possible without all of them. But let's just go ahead and get straight into the video. And back to my cleaning. What's up everybody, Scott Holmbeck here in Osaka, Japan, and it is so weird that I can actually say that, but we actually made it happen. We've been filming with Airsoftology Jonathan, No Cat, Random Guy Kev, and so many other people, including the Laylax crew here, but it's not Laylax, it's
Lilacs.
Remember that, that's how you actually say it. But today I wanted to go over some misconceptions and the actual truths about Japanese airsoft laws, playstyles, and overall little things that we think we know, but we really don't know. And to make that video come together, I actually have Ryan from Laylax here. Ryan, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Yes, thank you for coming over and spending time with us. And just real quick introduction, my name's Ryan, or Laylax Ryan. I've been here almost 4 years with Laylax, and I've been in Japan for 12. And I've been doing airsoft roughly 10 years. 5 in the US, 5 here in Japan. And yeah, just let me know if you have any questions, and I'll answer them to the best of my ability.
Well, I have 5 misconceptions about Japanese airsoft, and we'll begin right now with...
All airsoft guns must be plastic in Japan.
Yeah, so this is a misconception or a rumor, myth, what have you, urban legend. I think there's a confusion because there are some things that cannot be metal. So let's start off with, yes, you can have metal guns. Otherwise, you know, Laylax, who is the distributor of Crytek and SIG and such here in Japan, we wouldn't be able to have those guns. But yes, like rifles and shotguns, sniper rifles, all those things can be fully metal, no problem. It's not an issue. Back in the old days, there's a little bit of talk about whether it has to be full plastic or not, but nowadays it's not even a question. Now, where it does come into play is handguns. So handguns cannot have metal slides.
Okay.
So it is still a gray area. It's not like a 100%, but just safe to say that it's like no metal slides on handguns. So whenever we have handguns here in Japan, they have to have a plastic slide. So that's why you see a lot of Monruis with plastic slides, as well as guns that we carry here as well.
Now, in the aftermarket, can you put on metal slides afterwards or still no?
Like I said, it's still a gray area, but in general, the best way to go about it is just don't put metal slides on because, you know, in the end of the day, it's technically not allowed. So I would say no metal slides, period.
How old do you have to be to play airsoft or own airsoft guns in Japan?
Right, so Japan actually has 2 categories of ownership for airsoft guns, 10 plus and 18 plus. However, I would say in general, it's an 18 plus hobby. For airsoft guns you and I know. Now, 10-year-olds in certain prefectures and certain fields with a waiver from the parents, 10 plus, using 10 plus guns only. Oh. So those like boys guns, you know,
yeah.
with like the AA batteries. So those like even weaker guns, like half a joule type of stuff, the kiddos can play with at a normal field, depending on waivers and such. But to answer your question in a nutshell, 18 plus for normal airsoft guns and to play in them as well.
Why no green gas in Japan?
So why don't we see green gas in stores or people generally using green gas? Because you guys use duster gas, right?
Yes. So duster gas or HFC 134A type of Freon is what we use. So it's lower power than green gas. The main reason I would say that we don't have green gas here is because using green gas in our guns, especially stock models, puts them over the legal limit of
okay.
0.98 joules or 322 FPS.
Makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. Aside from that, a lot of fields consider it highly flammable, and as you've seen going to some fields here, that the fields are quite narrow, right? All made of wood. So if there was a fire, the whole place is going up.
Catastrophic.
Exactly. So right now, Japan is kind of like divided with CO2 and the Freon, but the Freon is eventually going to be cycled out for something called white gas, which Marui just produced, but it's a couple, like 10-20% weaker than duster gas, so it's even harder to use gas guns, which is why there's a big push for CO2 here in Japan, and Laylax does a lot of the development for CO2 guns here. Yes.
What are the real power limits of Japan?
Right, so legal power limits quite well known across the world, because there are a few countries that have similar power limits as us, but it's typically 1 joule, or specifically 0.98 joules, which is equal to about 322 FPS on a 0.2 gram BB. So for some people it's not very high. Here in Japan, I personally enjoy it, having gone from the US to Japan. And I think with how tight it is here in Japan, there's not much of a difference. However, when you go outside and you have the big mountainous fields and stuff, yes, the range is often, kind of neutered in a sense. But yeah, I would say the safe way to say is in the 320 range / 1 joule.
Why no running at some fields, and what are some manners of Japanese airsoft?
Yeah, so it kind of goes back to the last question you had with the power limits, right? So in conjunction to what you just asked, we also don't have an MED in Japan, and that's because we have a lower power limit, but it's also Japanese people in general are not very confrontational, so that's why we don't have a bunch of running. The manners are very high, so people like Jonathan from Airsoftology's mentioned many times before, like you never see cheater videos, you never see people fighting, people all call their hits. In general, you do have people every now and then kind of going, oh yeah, that guy's not calling his hits, but I would say in comparison to my experience in the US, Europe, and a few other places, cheating is very low here. Everyone calls their hits, and also with the lower power limit, we want to make sure everyone knows that they're hit, and there's none of the one running up to someone and screaming at them, like bang bang, surrender. It's just everything counts as a hit. Your gun counts, your gear counts, everything counts as a hit. It's very white and black basically.
And when we were playing during the Crytek owners meeting, that was very apparent. And those hits were so clean and I don't know what, but as we were playing, we really noticed the huge difference between American airsoft and Japanese airsoft, and it felt great. I don't know how to explain it.
Yeah, I would say, since you asked about the no running, I would say there is running allowed at a lot of fields in Japan, but in CQB fields, they bring the running down. Like, there's no full sprinting, the double tactical sprint from Call of Duty, but you do have a bit, like, you can power walk, fast jog, kind of hop, but you can't, just run down the field.
And is that because things are just way too small?
Yes, it's quite tight. People can get hurt, and in general, even if there's an opportunity to run super fast, most Japanese players are very tactical, as you may have seen. They're not. It's not so much of a paintball style like I've seen sometimes in the U.S. It's more like everyone's tactical. They pilot corners. They might not sprint, but jump from one cover to another real quick. And plus, if you got your gear on, you get tired. So everyone running at the same speed, doing a light jog or just walking tactically, you get more of a change of pace for the game, right? So with the manners combined, the no MED, and the reduced running, you kind of get a more tactical game. So you're going from Call of Duty to maybe something like Rainbow Six.
Okay, that makes a lot more sense then.
Yeah.
Well, this was very informative, and I hope this kind of video will really help a lot of people out there. I would like to make more of these videos if we do any more traveling in the future, but I really, really need to thank everyone at Laylax,
Yes.
including you, Ryan. Thank you very much for inciting us all.
No, yeah, thank you for all your questions. I'm happy to ask, and you know, it helps because there's always so many misconceptions out there, and you know, no one's an expert of everything. But hey, check out Scott's stuff, and hey, we have the new Laylax International channel on YouTube, so check it up here, as well as our Instagram and all that.
Everything will be linked in the description down below. But I guess with that said, this has been Scott Hollenbeck.
And Ryan from Laylax.
Until that next video drops from the city of Dallas, Texas, or in this case, Osaka, Japan, this has been Scott Hollenbeck, and I'll be sure to see you all next time.
See you later.
Bye, everyone.
That man said Ryan Sensei. Get it right.
That man said it's super.
I'm gonna throw
Just
Ahsoka
someone else.
in there. Just real quick.